Hello, Facebook. It's me again. I figured that since I was making a video about some of my action figures, that I'd also show the replica fashion dolls that I'm making from the 16th century. And I figured that this would be a good opportunity to kind of show my progress, what I have made, and then also what I plan on doing and what I'm waiting for as far as materials to come in at this point in time. So a few folks haven't really seen me around at events lately. Been kind of preoccupied with mundane life, but I'm of course always crafting and always making something. And so I wanted to show my progress at this point in time. So let me just flip around the camera here to show you what we have, if it'll allow me to. Sorry about the fingers here. There we go. Okay. So a few folks have probably seen my replica doll based on, let's get rid of some of the reflection here. This would be the doll from the Sweden Royal Armory in Stockholm. So this is what the item looks like. It's not out on display in the museum, but it's within their inventory. So on occasion it's on display, but as you can see it has bobbin lace, gold bobbin lace, silk, embroidery, wire work, pearls, you name it, the works. There's even portions where the underskirts are also bedecked. And that's what I did with this fine lady right here. So we do have real human hair. We also did the wire work and pearls and the embroidery. And we also now finally have the bobbin lace completed and sewn on. I decided to sew it right over the wire work that I had done to give a little extra sparkle with the metallics, considering, you know, this would give it kind of an extra shine. So I'm getting a little reflection from the window here, but you can see what I did with the wire work. I gave her a little ruff, and then also, just like on the sleeves of the original where you have all the pearls and embroidery, we've got pearls, embroidery, and gold work on there too. Here we go. You can see it focused. Now I added the veil and the ruff because in fashion back in the, and they're removable. They're not permanent. They're just pinned on. But the idea is that fashion at the time period, folks had all sorts of ruffs and decoration and normally head coverings. And the original doll is kind of missing those head coverings and the neck ruff. But you know, you get a nice view of the human hair here that they used in the embroidery. So that's what I was kind of trying to do with this particular doll, was really get it about as close as one person could make all at once with the skills that I possess. She does have the multiple layer skirt, so underneath there is silver bobbin lace on a velvet like underdress there that's also yellow. So we followed the same colors that they have here. So we went with pink and yellow, and then also lined the outer dress. There's a little edge of blue there, but I also have the underdress lined in a gold silk too. So I mean, there's layers upon layers of some beautiful fabrics here. So I would take her out of the box, but it's a little difficult with filming, I guess you could say. But I used a shot silk to kind of give it, has a little red to it, a little purple, to kind of bring out the colors, because there was two images here that really you would either see more reddish purple or a real dark purple. So I was trying to kind of bring that out in the fabric choices on this particular one. There we go. There's an excellent shot of all the detail. So I call her Pandora. That's what they called dolls pre-1700s. So I'm naming each one sort of after the person that had them or something of that nature where they were, if they were already sort of given a name. I'm just following suit. So that is the first doll that was made. This is my most recent one that was created, that I've created. Now, I've named her Elizabeth because she doesn't really have a name, but she's based on, now this is a detail of the painting. She is based on this particular painting, which is Three Young Girls by William Larker, about circa 1620s when it was painted, but the doll's fashions would be earlier. So we have a good shot, close-up of what it looks like. Sorry for shaky cam here, guys. But this was a really good attempt at doing needle lace here. We had bobbin lace on the first doll. Different technique. Needle lace on this one. So I went ahead here and did needle lace work on the apron. Then we also have lace on the ruffs and cuffs to follow suit with the painting there. So we have these very fine, like reticella lace I found as close as I could get that gave the exact look that we're going for here. We have like hair ribbons. We have hair ribbons. I added a little plume for fun. It's not permanent. It just sort of stuck into the hair. This is, again, a wig made out of human hair. Now, this happens to be my own hair on this particular doll. And I tried to kind of paint her very similarly, very light-faced kind of doll. And this one is hand sculpted by me. So you have a sculpted, painted with gouache paint face here. I mean, we have a little bun in the back with pearls, as you can see. The apron has handmade ties. And then I also do have layers of silk underneath her. There's red and pink layers underneath. And then you have, of course, detail of the bodice, which is very simple in this particular one compared to the other one. So I just went ahead and did very simple line design with a little bit of silk and stitched it down to make piping, and it looks quite nice. The little jeweled pin was my own addition just for fun, because these are replicas, and it's one of those things where you do want to add a little bit of yourself into your work, and so just little things here or there to give a sense of time, scale, still using period materials, of course. That's gold wire there, silk, and pearls, so it's still very period-esque sort of situation. And she has little earrings, actually, too. Little pearl earrings. Now, on this one, the technique's different. I took a wooden bead, embroidered the face, pulled the fabric taut, and then used a pearl for the chin and a bead for the nose, and then everything was stitched underneath the wig, and then edging all around in pearls. Very, very similar to what, you know, trying to make it look like the extant version that's from Sweden. So you have that technique versus you have sculpting, painting on this one for the face and the hands instead of just fabric work. So that just goes to show that depending on who was making the doll, you'd have different techniques used. So, and it's been a long time since I sculpted a human face, so I'm pretty pleased that she turned out quite nice. But I love her profile. I mean, this is exactly how it's supposed to appear. You have a very wide, puffy skirt. She does have like a bum roll underneath. You have the narrow waist, the wide ruff, and then the tall hair. I mean, that's exactly a Elizabethan profile right there for an adult human, or adult woman in this case. And that's the funny thing about these dolls from period, is they were adult courtesan-like ladies. They were not really represented. There's one example that I found that looks like it's more of a child than an adult. But the next doll that I'm going to be making is based on Arabella Stewart's doll here in the painting. which looks like it's a red silk or velvet, all gold worked with pearls and gold embroidery. And then the underskirt also has gold work on it. And then you're seeing those little spangles. Those are at the very bottom of the hem of the dress. Those are hand-worked, hammered spangles made out of real gold. So we're going to be basically making something here that's going to be quite nice. And also very sort of shiny and decorative like the other two dolls. A fashion at the time. Now this portrait was done in 1577, but the dolls' fashions are earlier. And that seems to be a great trend, that the fashions are earlier than the image dates. I did a drawing here, a mock-up of what I plan on doing, which is going to be, it's a little hard to tell here, but it's going to be a diamond patterned gold work with pearls and spangles on the outer dress. So it's going to look quite detailed. And because I'm doing so much gold work, I'm buying it sort of in bulk. So here's another close-up image. You can see more of the finery and detail on this one. I mean, even for the child, she's got beautiful embroidered sleeves. And what else I'm going to do, this underdress on this doll is gold and silver embroidered, most likely a brocade of some form. So what I'm going to do is gold and silver work the entire thing, and then find a nice patterned silk for on top. I will be using the bobbin lace again because we have a nice bobbin lace detail here on the bodice. And then try to figure out yet again, probably a plain silk this time for the ruffs and the cuffs. But a very similarly fashioned dress. I mean, we have hanging sleeves. The other one had hanging sleeves. You have a sleeve cap, a fitted bodice, and an outer skirt. And then the Arabella Stewart doll, yet again, we have hanging sleeves, a fitted bodice, an open worked skirt, and an underskirt. So very similar fashions in this. Now this image is from 1577. This one is from 1582. So the image and the paintings that we're dealing with are very, within a few years of one another. Different countries. This one tends to be from Holland area. And the image of Arabella Stewart's from England, but yet again, you're seeing that fashion travels. And these, yet again, are both adult women depicted as these dolls. So with both of these, I'm going to also do a sculpted face. I do plan on playing more with the embroidered faces and cloth making dolls too. So there's a lot of techniques out there that you could really embrace and enjoy. I have this entire little book right here of images that I have found. These are dolls and paintings. And I've done my own mock-up drawings. You know, what they look like, the children that they're with, which is normally noble children in that case. Get a good vision. So this will be one of the other ones that I'll be making in the future. And then we have a very detailed gold work. So I'll be buying some gold trim. And it's gilt trim. So it really actually does have real gold and silver over the top. And same sort of situation, figuring out the pattern up underneath. Because we have arms holding the children or holding the dolls. Children are holding the dolls in the paintings. This is the one that inspired the one in the case. So, which has been a lot of fun, I have to admit. This is a real challenge for somebody to create because you need to know a lot of different skills to be able to pull it off. And there's even one earlier. This is from 1502. So this will be one where I'll be pulling off an earlier English style. Actually, in this case, it's Austrian, the painting itself. And this one, she's from Austria too. a more middle class kind of doll here. Here we go. So just like a dress and whatnot. So we're looking at more middle class, like a doublet dress and then a skirt and a little bit of ruff. Very simple ones in this case with blonde hair. More of a close-up image there. And then Germany also comes into play. So we have some Anglo-Saxon dolls here from the Krenak time period in Germany. So I think some of these are cloth dolls and other ones are sculpted. So there's another technique, is just sculpting the dolls straight from one material and painting the clothing and details on instead of all fabric work. Though I'd like to kind of play with both techniques. I mean, they had ones here. This is from Queen Elizabeth's Wardrobe Unlocked. This is a pewter doll that they happened to find in the River Thames. This is the first image that I saw of the extent from Stockholm, Sweden, but I didn't get the color images until many years later in order to actually replicate the doll and make her look like the painting, because you want to know what colors were used. And just seeing it in Queen Elizabeth's Wardrobe Unlocked, you run into that. Now, toys and dolls and things of that nature go way far back. Like these are from Greece. I mean, different sculpts and such. So, I mean, there's all sorts of different techniques that one can do to create dolls from the time period. But these are the two that I have, and I think they're pretty darn nifty. Let's see here. Kind of hard. It's not picking up the light as well as it was. Oh, there we go. But yeah, these two are pretty darn nifty, and I'm hoping to make some more and continue to do the research. And I really found something. These are just so much fun to create, and they're challenging, and you end up with something very beautiful in the end, and that's always lovely. But definitely dolls to look pretty, definitely not an actual plaything. I don't think these, you know, if the children in the paintings are playing with the dolls, I think they wouldn't last very long. So I think they're more of a status symbol for a young, noble girl under the age of 5 in the 16th century. But they conveyed fashion and then were given as a plaything later. So, very cool. So we have some very quite nifty historical fashion dolls is what these would be called. And going to be making some more. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope it was educational, and that if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And I hope to do some more of these soon, and some in-progress ones for the next 2 dolls. Enjoy your weekend. Stay warm. Have a good day.